Hey, this is Andrew Brown, and welcome to the Git Workflow Challenge, where we're going to learn how to properly set up a Git repository designed for large production workloads and working with multiple developers. So if you've never heard of Git Workflow, absolutely important for you to know, essential skill for all developers, because this is pretty much the de facto standard on how projects are set up. And so this was the original diagram here, but I'm going to go to this one because it's a little bit more clear. But the idea here is that we have a bunch of different branches, and the idea is that certain branches do different things, and they also allow us flexibility to fix things on the fly, such as hotfixes, or when we have a lot of people working on the same project and we need to work on lots of features and merge them in. That's another thing, or also making sure that we have an intermediate step that we can have to test it before we actually move it into production. But you'll see some variations here, so you can see that they're not all one-to-one the same. Some have some extra ones there, like a feature branch, release branches, and stuff like that. And so, if you go out this kind of stuff, you just have to kind of get the general idea of it. But I'm going to set it up the way I set it up and the way I learned how to do it, and that's what we're going to be doing here today. I have a repo here. I call it the Git Workflow Challenge. You can be doing this in an existing repository if you like, and just put it in a subfolder, but this is where I'm doing it for mine. I also have this program here called Fork. Fork is just like GitX. I normally use a Mac with GitX, so I've never used this program before, so if I'm stumbling through it, you know why. But this is going to help us visualize to make sure that we are doing what we think we're doing. And we're going to be doing everything through the terminal here, so I have my nice terminal over here. But let's jump into it. So we have a README file. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just make my first commit. So I'm going to just say first commit. And what I want to do is I want to make an issue. And we're going to go ahead and make a new issue here. And we're going to say update README file. Okay, I'm going to just go ahead and assign that to myself. And the next thing I want to do is I just want to specify whether that's a feature or something else. So I'm going to go ahead here and just edit my labels. And we're going to make a new one called feature. We're going to make a new one called, it could be bug or hotfix. Okay. We're going to make another one called maintenance. I never can spell that word, so I always have to spell check it or go to Google. So that is what we're going to do. Okay, feature, bug, maintenance. There's one other, I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but that should be good enough for us for the time being. And we're going to go back to our issues, and we're going to make a new issue, and we're going to say update README file. We're going to assign it to ourselves here. We're going to go ahead and assign that a label, and let's just assume this is a feature. Okay. I need to update the README file. And the thing is, when you're working on stuff, you always want to make sure that they correlate back to tickets. And so the reason I did this before I wanted to push a fix is because I wanted to specify what branch I'm working on. But yeah, let's go ahead and set up some branches here. And so in my README, I just need to think about this for a moment, because I'm not doing this every day. But the idea is we have a master branch, which can be called main, but I think this one is just called master. We're going to probably want a production branch. So this is where our live code is going to be. So real production workload. Then we're going to have a staging server or a staging branch. The purpose of this is it could act as our blue-green server. It could act as our server for testing before we move stuff. Actually, I might separate this out and just say, no, that's fine. We'll just say staging here, so blue-green server. Staging, like, it really depends, because you could have also a QA branch, so that could be your quality assurance server. So this is perform tests before merging into staging. Okay, blue-green environment. So this means it's a duplicate of our production environment. And if it passes all tests, we'll swap them out, okay? All right, so we have our master, our production, our staging, our QA. And our master, I'm just thinking about this for a moment, is going to probably sit here. Okay. And so the purpose of the master branch, and sometimes they call this develop branch, is just to hold on to code that we're going to want to put into staging or production, right? And so we're going to have a lot of different feature branches, right? And these feature branches are going to be continuously merged back into master. And then when we decide that we're happy with them, they're going to get merged into staging. And then if we're happy with staging, we'll move those into production. And then under here, we will have hotfixes. Okay, and that's when we need to fix things on production. So just going back to that workflow, let's just see if we can find one that makes a good example of that. So their master is really their, I think that's their production. Yeah, because hotfixes are happening. So this is their production branch. And the idea is that a lot of times the only thing that should ever get pushed out to production is if it has a tag, okay? And so our develop branch is really our master branch in our case. And the idea is that you have these features, and every time a feature is merged in, it's good, right? And then when you're ready to release it to your staging, so they call it release branches staging, we can push it there. And if we're happy with it in staging, if everything passes, then we tag it, and then we put it into master, and then it goes into there. So hopefully that makes sense. But you can see like there's a lot of different preferences for naming and can get a bit confusing. But as long as we go through the motions of it, we should be okay here. So just working back here, just main branch, where we are going to merge all our features, okay? And this is going to be branches that are quick fixes on production. And so, yeah, let's work our way through that. So now that I have this little thing, and I'm not really worried about the contents of this, we need something to commit. I'm just going to go make my way over here, and I'm just going to do a git status. And I can see I have a single file here. I'm going to do a git add all. That's going to add all the files, but I could just write readme here if I wanted to. You don't always want to do a git add all if you don't need to do it. We'll do a git status. Okay, and this is ready to commit. But the thing is that if we're following this workflow, we don't necessarily want to commit this in our master branch right now. If I just list out git branch, it should tell us what branch we're in. Oops, or yeah, it should. I guess we don't actually have any branches right now because we haven't uploaded anything. So I guess what we'll do is we'll just push this initial thing. I was thinking that maybe it just wasn't showing me my branch, but I don't think we've actually initialized this repo here. We'll just do an ls-la here. No, it has a .git here, but maybe we just don't have that set up. So I'm going to make my way back here. Yes, here we go. So we'll have to do our initial commit, and so that's what we'll end up doing. So we'll do a git add. If I can find my terminal here, great. We'll git add. We will do our first commit. We will go ahead and do main. And we will go and push that. And then we will set up our origin there. And now in our documentation, it's actually just going to be main. Okay. So if we make our way back to Git here, we're just going to give a refresh, and we can see that our code is there. So that's great. And if we make our way over to here, and we're not going to buy this right now, I'm not too worried about that. And we're just going to click on that. And so we can see we have our first main branch. So now we're going to have to set up multiple branches here. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll make our way back to terminal here. And we're going to need a production branch. So I'm going to do git checkout -b. -b stands for branch. I'm going to say production. And I'm going to do a git push. And it's going to tell me to do that. So I'm going to paste that so it goes on to origin. Right? And if I flip back here, you notice the branch now appears here. And it also appears there. And now we'll do another branch. So we're going to need staging. Oops. We'll just go git checkout master here. And then we'll do that git checkout -b staging. And then we will, I think we're already in that branch. Yep. And then we'll do a git push. And we will copy that there. So it sets it upstream. Great. And if I flip back here, it's here. I don't see it there, but it is pushed. There it is, just a bit of a delay. So we have those. And so that's pretty much all we need set up for the time being. We could also set up a QA server, but I'm not going to do that right now. And so we really don't want to be, well, we do want to be main, but let's say we want to go ahead and make a new change, and we need to update this README file. So I need to update the README file with some lorem ipsum. And we've decided that this is a feature. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to main, git checkout main. And from main, we are going to create a new feature branch. And so we have our ticket here. I'm just going to update this. So it's update readme file with lorem ipsum. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to I'm going to create a new feature branch. So I'm going to git checkout -b. We're going to type in feature / the ID. So it's going to be 1. And then we're just going to give it a bit of a summary, okay? So we're updating the README. So we'll just say README lipsum, okay? And so now we have our branch. The reason why we're doing this is just so we have some kind of identifier what this is. There's no strict requirements as to how you name it, but the reason you do that is just because if you name them all with numbers, you're not going to be able to tell what they are unless you go up and check the ticket. So that's just a courtesy to your fellow developer. And if we flip back here, I think it should show the branch. And so the reason we named this feature / is that the majority of Git tools, what they'll do is if you have a / it'll put it into a folder. And this is really important because if you have a very large project, you can end up with tons and tons of branches, and it becomes a lot of work to clean them up. And so if you discretely define things into bugs, hotfixes, maintenance, and feature, then this is going to make your life a lot easier. And so that is something you absolutely want to do. All right. Now we did put the ID in there. I don't think that's going to make the branch show up in here. So I'm just going to give it a refresh here. No. But the thing is that once we do add a git commit, it will associate it with that there. So what I want to do is just go get some lorem ipsum. So we'll go here and we'll just type in lipsum. And I'm going to scroll on down here and just grab any, doesn't matter what. And we will make our way back to Visual Studio Code here if I can find it. And I'm just going to paste this in here. And we'll just say lipsum. I'm going to save that file. I'm going to make my way back to Git. I'm going to do a git status. I can see that I've changed that file, and I'm ready to make a commit. Now, I normally make commits in my editor here because I want to make sure that I'm not committing anything additional, because a lot of times you can double-click to add them over. And I think in this one, you just do a checkbox here. So how you do it? I'm not exactly sure. Oh, changes up here. Okay, there we go. And so we can see unstaged changes, so changes that aren't going to be committed, and staged changes. And that's, I rarely ever do a git add plus. I always check all of my files before I proceed to put them into staging, okay? And so I'm looking at this file, I'm saying, okay, that's what I decided to change. And if there are lines that are superfluous, like things that shouldn't be changed, I'm going to remove that because I really want to reduce the amount of changes that happen. If there are changes that can be isolate, so for instance, I changed the word main, maybe that should be a separate commit as opposed to this stuff down below. But I'm not going to worry about it for this demo here. And we're just going to double click this. And it's complaining. I thought maybe that would bring it over. Maybe we can just hit, whoops, we can hit stage. LF will replace CLF. The file will have its original line endings. I'm totally fine with that. I'm just trying to get it to go over here. So it's talking about the line endings. It doesn't like them. And so this is giving me a really hard time. So I'm just going to go back to terminal here, and we'll just do a git status, and we'll just add this manually. But I would probably still use this to review the files, but apparently I can't seem to stage them over here. So we'll do git add readme. Okay. And then we'll do a git status. And now we're ready to do a commit. So I'm going to do git commit, and I'm going to do -m. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make sure that I include the ID of the ticket here, which is #1, okay? And so I'm going to do #1. I make a hyphen. You don't have to put a hyphen, but I like to. And we're just going to write, I think I can put these in quotations. We're going to say update readme file with lipsum. Okay. And it's the first time I've ever done these, so this stuff is going to keep on complaining, but I don't really care about that. And so I have my feature branch. I'm going to do a git push. It's going to tell me to run this so I can push it here. And I'm just going to bring back up fork here, and we're going to see that I have my feature branch there, and now it is pushed to here. All right. And we are now ready to, and you can see everything's on the same line here, but we are ready to make a pull request. But the reason we tagged it is if I refresh here, what you're going to notice is that down below, you can actually see that it's been associated, the ticket's been associated with the commit. And this is really important because if you're a CTO or director of engineering, stuff like that, your job is to go in and review pull requests, review code, and sometimes you have to go investigating and associate commits with tickets. And if your developers aren't being diligent about this, it can make your job a lot harder. And so for juniors, I always say, like, please do this because then your director of engineering will notice and they'll be really happy with you, okay? So always make sure that you tag your commits with the issue number there. But anyway, now we're ready to go ahead and make a pull request. Sometimes in GitHub, it will show up here. Sometimes you have to manually hit new pull request. I'm just going to hit the new pull request button. And here it's going to ask, where do we want to merge this into, right? And so we're actually going to want to merge this into main. And I'm going to choose the branch that I want, that we want to make a pull request for. I'm going to say create pull request. And then here I would just say, like, this is what I did. Refer to, ticket 1. Okay. And generally these systems will automatically add reviewers. You usually don't have to do that. But we'll go ahead and we will create that pull request. And so you'll have a lot of checks that pass. And so then what's going to happen is that someone else is going to be reviewing it. I'm the only one in this project, so we're not going to experience that today. And that's not really what I want to focus on. I want to focus on the structures of these directory or these branches here. And what we'll do is we'll go ahead and merge this pull request. So this pull request has been merged. Generally, after a pull request is merged, the branch will get deleted because you'll end up with a lot of branches here in your origin here. But for the time being, we're going to leave it alone. We're going to see if this is actually updated. So I'm going to go to my origin here. Or my main, sorry. And I'm going to see if this is updated. Is this going to give me a refresh here? I'm not sure. Because right now I'm expecting main and feature to be on the same part right here. So let's just double check over here. It's a lot easier with GitX. I don't see a refresh. I just want to refresh this here. Maybe I can refresh. View, file. Maybe I just hit Command R or Control R here. Nope. Huh. I'm just going to reopen this program. Again, this isn't my primary program. This is not what I use for visualization. If somebody knows a good one for Windows, you tell me. And so what I'm trying to see is I want to see that this is on the same line as main, because that's how I know that main is up to date. But it doesn't look like main is up to date. So what I'm going to do is go back here, and we're going to go check our branches. Whoops. Or maybe our commits. And it is merged. Okay. Git checkout main. Git pull. Okay, so pull changes. All right, so now it's showing us some stuff. I don't know why it's giving us so much trouble here locally, but our feature branch is here, and that tells us that it's now been merged. I guess it's not showing us. Maybe we're looking at this one and not origin here. Yeah, I don't know why it's not visualizing properly. But anyway, the point is that our main is now in front of our feature, so that is definitely merged in, okay? So now that it's merged into main, the next thing we want to do is let's assume that we're happy with these features. Let's just make a couple more feature branches here. So I'm going to go and just make another one here. And we'll say update README with horoscope. Okay, I'm going to assign this to me. We'll make a new feature. Okay, I don't know where I can get a horoscope, but let's go look for one. Horoscope today. And I am a Tauros, so this is mine. Okay. And we are going to go back to here. Paste that in. Horoscope. Okay. Then we're going to go ahead and make a, did we make this ticket? We did. That's issue number 3. I don't know what happened to number 2. 1 to 3. Okay, maybe pull requests get IDs now. And so we're going to do a git. Just make sure you do a git pull first, because you always want to be branching from the latest. So we'll do git checkout B, and we'll say feature 3 readme horoscope. Great. And I think we already updated this. So we do git status. And so we're going to do a git commit -m 3, and we'll say update with horoscope. Great. And then we will do a git push to push that feature branch. We're going to go ahead here and do that. And all the while, we're just going to keep on checking to make sure that everything looks how we expect it to look, right? And so we've branched from that, so that looks okay to me. And so what we're going to do is, I think we've pushed it, so we're happy with that. So we'll go through the process here again. And if I just refresh, it should tell us about a new pull request here. I think we pushed it, yeah. So we'll go new pull request. And we'll click that one there. Should be something, right? Oh, maybe our commit message didn't work. Git add readme. There we go. We'll push that. We'll go back here. And we will just click back here and click into this again. All right, and so there are our changes. I don't like how it's changing things we didn't tell it to change, but that's okay. We'll create the new pull request here. Make sure that's going into main. I've added horoscopes. We'll create that pull request. And we'll wait for it to decide. We'll go ahead and merge that. Obviously, you'd go through pull requests. A reviewer would check it over, and they would merge it. You wouldn't be the one merging it, but we're doing this for our sake here. And now we'll make our way back here. And so we can see that we have this one up here. And so I know on our origin, don't know why it won't show us origin. Because origin should be with this feature branch right now. But whatever, this, I guess I won't use fork ever again. And we'll just go git checkout main. We'll do a pull here. And so now we can see that we have another merge. So both this one and this one are now part of main. Okay. And so now that main is ready, let's say we're ready to deploy something for testing for staging, right? So what we can do is we'll just go git checkout staging. And I think we just do a git merge master here, or main. Git merge main. And so we'll come back here, and now we can see main and staging are the same, right? And now let's say that we are happy with our staging server. We're saying, okay, it's passed all the tests. We're okay with it. Let's go ahead and trigger it to deploy to production. So what we will do is we'll go ahead and tag this commit. So I think, yeah, we should do that in staging. Yeah. So tagging is pretty easy. We're just going to go git tag -v, and we'll just say version 1.0.0. So you have major, minor, and patch. So major is when there's a major update. Minor is generally what you'll be updating. Patch is when you're applying hotfixes and things like that. So we'll go ahead and do that. Maybe it's just this. There we go. I should flip back. And so now we see tagging version 1.0.0. And we should be able to push those tags. Git push --tags. Okay, and so now our version is pushed here, so that is now tagged, and we can now go to master and merge this, or to merge this into production. So we're going to go git checkout production, git merge production, or git merge staging. Okay, and then we'll do a git push. All right, and so now we have a point in time where we have a version merge, right? Okay. So now what we'll do is let's just go make a new feature branch and go through the process of updating this. All right. So, or actually, let's do a hotfix first. Those are more fun. So let's say something was wrong with our code on production and we have to change it right away. And we don't have the luxury to getting it onto stage or anything like that. We just have to get something out. So what we're going to do is apply a hotfix as quickly as we can. So what I'm going to do is check out from production. So I'm going to do git checkout B, and this is going to be a bug. We're going to make a new ticket here for this bug. Some people will have features for bugs, and some people, or tickets for bugs, and some people will have tickets for hotfixes. I guess we could do it as a hotfix. I keep on changing my mind. But yeah, some companies will do both bugs on production and your development branch, and some will do it this way, but I'll do it this way. So we'll just say have to fix readme, or like wrong horoscope on production. Okay, we'll just assign that to myself here. We'll go back to horoscopes. We'll just say horoscope here today. And actually, I'm born on the 21st, so I'm actually between a Taurus and a Gemini. So really, I should have done the Gemini horoscope. So that was our big mistake. We're going to go back over here, and I'm going to paste in. Paste in my. This is not playing well today. Paste in my Gemini horoscope. We're going to save that, and this is number 5, so we're going to say bug 5. You know, I'm going to do -5. I really don't think branches show up in here, but if they do, I'm always going to use this going forward, but I'm pretty sure that it doesn't do that. This is just an experiment, okay? Generally, I would just do 5, okay? So we'll do that, and we will then do a git status on that. We'll do a git add readme.md. We'll do a Git Commit -m, and this is number 5, so update horoscope to use Gemini, and then we'll do a Git Push, and we are going to push that, and we're going to take a look at our visualizer here, and we should now have this bug branch here. And from here, we should be able to see that, yeah, this is branching from production, where everything's kind of the same right now. And I'm just curious to see if this branch showed up here. I'm pretty sure it won't do that. So it doesn't. Okay, so I just wanted to know if I put if I added in my branch name, if it would show up, but it doesn't. So I would just say you don't need to put this here. You just leave it 5, whatever. Some companies actually always like to put the hash in. I generally leave it out, but just be consistent with whatever your company's doing. But it was just a quick experiment to see how that went. So we'll go ahead and make that a new pull request. We're going to create that pull request. Someone on the team would check that over. This is very serious because it's going direct to production, so we absolutely want to make sure that it works correctly. And sometimes people actually have their full test suite test every single feature. So you have all your test suite test the feature branches, and you'll have all the test suite test the staging branches. But in this case, it would test this branch and say, okay, it's okay. And what we would do is go ahead and merge this. I'm just trying to think here because we have this here. I think we're supposed to have a hotfix branch. Yeah, we're supposed to, because we did this right here right now, and we can fix this. This is not a big deal. So what I'm going to do is, whoops, we do not want to buy that right now, but I don't want to actually do anything with this pull request because this isn't going to work. Because we need to tag our miner. That's our problem. We need to tag our miner before we merge it in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go git checkout production here. And we're just going to go git checkout -b hotfixes. And then what I want to do is I want to go back to my bug branch. So I'm going to go git checkout bug 5 readme Gemini. And I don't really want to have that -5 because I'm not really going to use that. So I'm just going to make a new branch called git checkout -b bug 5, readme Gemini. And I'm going to do a git merge hotfixes. So now it's in sync with hotfixes. And I don't want that old branch there, so I'm going to just delete that branch. So I'm going to go git branch -d, which stands for delete. I'm going to do bug 5 readme Gemini. I always forget how to delete branches on remote. A lot of times I'll just do it through here. So if I have a branch here, we have a redundant one here. I'm just going to go ahead and delete it. Usually it's easier. Says I don't have permissions. Delete remote branch. Always absolutely forget how to do this. Okay, whoops. So I think it's pretty easy. We just do git push origin -- delete bug 5 readme Gemini. And that should delete it remotely. Great. And now we have this branch, and this is ready to get pushed. Git push. And so we're going to go ahead and do that. Great. And we'll close that tab. Go back to our visualizer here. And I know all these things are the same, but this is now branched off of hotfixes. And so we want to merge this back into hotfixes because the idea is that we're going to say this hotfix is accepted. So we're going to create this pull request. And we want to make sure that it's going into hotfixes, right? I don't think I pushed my hotfix branch. So I'm going to go git checkout hotfixes. Git push. Oops, git push. There we go. And we'll drop this down here and go to hotfixes. Great. And so, you know, big mistake needs to be fixed right away. And we're going to go ahead and create that pull request. And we'll just make sure that's hotfixes. So somebody also check it over. Some test suite would test to make sure that these tests pass. And then we would merge this into here. Great. And so then when we were happy with this, whenever it finishes merging, I'm not sure why it's doing that. It should have merged instantly. Well, let's just see if it actually did it. I don't think so. There we go. Okay, it was just a little bit slow. So this is now merged into hotfixes. And what we're going to want to do is just go to our hotfixes here. Git status. And this is now ready to be tagged. So we're going to tag this with git tags or git tag, and we're going to go with version. So version 1.0.1. Okay, because this is a patch, so that's why we're doing 0.1 on this. Okay. And if it was a regular bug fix that we were pushing through our staging server, it wasn't a hotfix, we just put it on the minor. And if we had a serious change, we'd do major. But a lot of times the minor is just updating, okay? And so we'll do git tag there, and we'll go back and check here. And we can see our hotfixes that are there. And then we are going to do a git push tags. Oops. All right, and so now our hotfixes have the 1.0.1 applied. This UI is terrible. It doesn't make it very clear because right now we don't have, our production isn't on 1.0.1. So really this is being tagged and this is being tagged, but for whatever reason, this visualizer is not very good and I don't have time to get you a better one here right now. But what we'll do is now that we're happy with this one, we can actually go ahead and merge this into master. So we'll do a git checkout. Master, or sorry, I keep on saying master. We're going to go production, and we'll do a git merge. Actually, we won't do it that way. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and merge this into as a pull request. I'm pretty sure we could do this. Yeah, it's probably actually how we should have been doing it, even with staging. It's just like if you used to do this back in the day, you used to have to manually merge these by hand, but like now you can just do this. So we'll just say apply 1.0.1. We'll have a reviewer because you could have a bunch of backups or backed up hotfixes here, and we'll go ahead and merge that in. And that is going into production, right? See, I made a mistake. It went to the wrong place. Oh boy. So that's why you got to really watch out. So I'm going to go ahead and make a new one. It's not a bad thing. Like we probably would have wanted in there, but again, you'd have a lot of people watching this stuff and being very careful. But we'll go ahead here, and this is actually what we wanted to do. Okay. We'll go ahead and merge that. And we'll go check out our terrible visualizer here. Again, I don't know why it doesn't show us this properly. But yeah, so that's how we do a hotfix. That's how we do a feature. Let's just go ahead and do a quick feature here and just add another horoscope. So I'm going to go git checkout main, git checkout -b feature. And we will make a new issue here. And by the way, someone would be closing these all along, right? And we'll go ahead and make, just say it's a bug fix this time. Correct minor issue in README. And now we have our issue. We always want to pull first before we check out that branch, or otherwise it's a big pain in the butt. And we'll do a -b. We'll say bug. This one is going to be 10. README fix. Not a great name for a branch, but for this, it's fine. We're going to go here and just change anything. So we'll just say our horoscope, our lorem ipsum, doesn't matter. And we're going to go git status, git add readme.md, git commit -m. We're going to put the ID in there, and the ID is number 10. Update or fix README, or this should have correct headings. It's a great way to name your bug fixes, always like should have. See, I didn't put the hyphen in there. I don't care. I used to work with a fellow, and if he didn't put the hyphen in, he would just not accept your commit, even though it didn't matter. And then we will do a git push. And so once this bug is accepted, so we'll go to pull requests here. We're going to go and do a compare here. And we want to merge this into main. Right? Somebody would check it over in main. We're going to merge that. Once it's in main, it's ready for staging. So we can go git. Actually, we don't even have to do it through here. So we'll just go ahead, and somebody would be ready to do that pull request and staging. So we'd go ahead and we'd make a new pull request, and we would find main, and we would merge it into staging. Right? Latest batch of fixes. Go ahead there and merge that. And once that is ready, we'd merge that in to staging. Once we were happy with the version of staging, git checkout staging, we would then tag that. So we're going to go do a tag. So we're going to git tag version 1.1.0. So the thing is that we're doing a minor thing because it's going to staging, and it's going to reset back to 0. And then we'll go ahead and apply that. And then we'll do git push -- tags. And so now that version is tagged. All right. So now our things are getting a little bit more complex. Right. And so what we'll do is we'll go ahead here, and we will go, and we're ready with staging to merge it into production. So I'm going to make a new pull request, and we're going to choose staging, and then we're going to merge that into production. Someone's going to look it over. Right? It's going to say what version is 1.1.0. Whenever GitHub decides that we're ready to merge, we can do that. Go ahead and merge. And so that's the workflow. And so that's the thing is, like, if you don't have a good tool to visualize what's going on, it can be very complicated very easily. And that's what a lot of juniors struggle with, is that they don't have that whole picture in their head of how all these things are working around. And they might be using a tool like Gitkraken or SourceTree or whatever. Personally, I've never found a really good one for Windows. GitX is really, really, really good if you're on Mac, because it shows you exactly where you are. But yeah, it's very similar to this program here. But yeah, so hopefully, you're kind of seeing where things connect and why you need a hotfix branch, a production branch, a staging branch, a main branch, etc. Maybe a QA branch, and what gets merged into what. But yeah, there you go.